Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Finks.
And we're back, man. Episode 360.
Yes, sir.
Let's get right into it. The Super Bowl.
My bad. I was waiting for another digit, but I forgot it was just
I was
360.
waiting for you to stop being an NPC. That's what I was waiting for.
Okay.
You just froze up like the fucking Sims over there.
Yeah. I got you.
Sims Keith. All right, anyways. The Super Bowl, we all watched it, right? We all seen it. And the Chiefs looked like Drake out there. They just didn't look like they were into the game. And I'll say this. Wasn't very competitive. So let's jump to the actual halftime show and then come back to the game. That's how uninteresting the game really was. Shout out to the Birds, though. You know, Patrick didn't look great. And Patrick got a weird case. Why is he around? Certified quarterback, certified intercept. Wop, 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 wop. Birds fuck him up. And you throwing like a bitch. Ain't you tired? Trying to make a score, but it's probably turnovers.
That's comedy.
All right. I had to get that out of my system. That's been in my head. I've been redoing that song all the way over on the way to the studio.
Oh, you worked on that?
I got to work. I've been working on it through my head. Like, how am I going to disrespect Patrick Mahomes?
Like, I gave it all I had out there. My dad, I had the support of State Farm, my dad and, my wife, Brittany Mahomes. And, nothing really could, get us on the scoreboard today. I talked to Travis. He said, he can't even propose to Taylor. It's really sad when you think about the grand scheme of it all, but, we'll be back. We'll be full forced. And, hopefully the refs will be on our side next time. It seems like the refs didn't really get the memo and, it hurts. I'm human.
So, Patrick, how much did you rely on the refs to call a game for the Chiefs?
I was heavily interested in, winning the game, with the striped suits, but it just didn't work today, and shout out to Brittany Mahomes, man.
All right. Yeah. All right. So let's get into Kendrick Lamar. Let's start off. He started off with his car up there, the GNX, the Grand National, and like 8 million fucking people came out of it. I don't know. I don't know how that many people came out of the car. It must have been a hole underneath the car. That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right. But it was genius. And there was a ton of people getting out. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is different.
it was niggas getting out of there.
Yeah. and everybody was wearing, it was subliminal messaging, obviously. It was red, white, and blue, and it was the form of a flag and whatnot. And it's wild. It's just so much to unpack. It was super dope. I predicted that SZA would be there. I said that Lefty Gunplay would be there.
You predicted SZA would be there? She was on the bill.
What?
They said she was gonna be there.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
All right. Well, I must have not got the memo, Keith. Just let me look bad. Just let me look bad, Keith.
They said Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Just let me look bad. Can you let me look bad sometimes? Fuck. All right. So SZA, but nobody predicted DJ Mustard. Right?
Yeah.
And I said I think DJ Mustard is going to come. Only reason why I said Lefty Gunplay is because that was the biggest song in the album, one of the biggest songs in the country. And, I wanted to hear crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
I could do without Lefty up there.
But I don't know if it would have worked out because he would have got up there probably high or something. He'd get crazy, stupid, crazy, hilarious. He got the words wrong.
Yeah.
It was I personally thought it was a great performance. Mm-hmm. At first, it started off slow, and then it ended up pretty powerful. Mm-hmm. And during the performance, I don't want to fast forward. I don't think I missed anything. But he said, people like to sue. Like, he mentioned that people like to sue, so he wasn't going to say certain stuff. And then ultimately, he did. Mm-hmm. He said, Baca got to wear. He mentioned Baca. I didn't think that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And he said, make sure you hide your little sister from him. He basically called Drake a pedophile in front of the president. The president was at the game.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that Drake sure is going through it right now. I wonder how Trump, how he, what he thought of the game. I mean, of the halftime performance.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know.
It's a good tune. It's a good jingle.
That Drake's going through it right now. He reminds me a lot of my friend Jeffrey Epstein. Couldn't stay out of trouble. Yeah. I don't.
That's what the people are saying.
The people are saying that he couldn't stay out of trouble. And if you got a little sister, keep them away. But I don't know. I think that Drake seems like a stand-up guy. Personally, a stand-up guy from what I know.
Ivanka, stay away from him. He's bad news. That's what the people are saying.
Say, Drake, I heard you like him young. Is that what they say? I'm not saying that, but the people are saying. Yeah, it was a hell of a performance.
Drake, you just might get deported. This is what the people are saying. You're not actually American. This is what the people are saying.
I could just imagine him making a conference call. Hello, Drake. Unfortunately, due to the tariffs, we're going to have to send you back to Canada. Temporarily, 25% tariffs. The only way we can work this out if you and UMG create a song or album that will take care of all the debt for the 25% tariffs on Canada.
We have to put a lien on the embassy.
That sounds like a drunk Jamaican right there. I can't let that bad one slide.
Embassy.
All right. Time to move on when the impersonations start getting bad. But yeah, man. Let's see what I miss here. It's so much.
I think you were right. The performance started off a little bad. This is what I would say. I thought it was a great performance. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was. I'm not going to stack it up against other performances because I think it's not really fair to like. You can't compare it's like comparing. You can't really compare Usher to Kendrick because it's different energies. Usher is up there singing. His career is started in a completely different era. But for what Kendrick did, I thought it was amazing. I think artistically. Him and his team, like Dave Free and all the people at PG Lang, I think they're super creative. Like just the color palette that they chose to go with like where you mentioned, like the flag and the reds, the white and the blues, and then having Samuel L. Jackson kind of like narrating the whole performance, I thought was like a cool thing. I know in his interview that he did with Apple Music with Ebro. He mentioned, they asked like, what are you going to get out or what are we going to see from this performance? And one of the things that he mentioned is, that he loves storytelling. And, he said that you're going to be able to get that from his performance, like his ability to be a storyteller. And I thought that that's kind of like what he did with the light post. And it kind of had like the Squid Games kind of like symbolism up there, and it's a lot to break down, and this is just from watching it live. I don't have I haven't went back and watched it over and over again like I'm sure some people on TikTok and the internet have, but just from watching it at first glance, I think there's something with Samuel L. Jackson, kind of relating him to probably some sort of Uncle Sam like figure. If you look at that propaganda poster that was created back in 19 whatever, you'll see that same sort of hat and very vibrant costume. I think that there was something there with Samuel L. Jackson, and then like we talked about the colors and things like that. So I just think that artistic, the aesthetic of it, the way that the choreography kind of flowed. I thought all of that was amazing. That's just the artistic standpoint. But I would say I do have some gripes about his performance. Just me personally, I'm not speaking for nobody else. The gripes that I have is I think that he should have performed more of his older music. And I know he just had a album that just came out, and it did really well as far as like the charts and everything like that. But he had I think he left a lot of meat on the bone performing so many new songs. You know what I mean? I think that some of the newer songs are, they're not that they're bad, but we didn't get All Right. We didn't get Swimming Pools. I think we did get DNA. And like songs, like some of the songs that he performed at the Pop Out, and obviously that's a whole hour. So it's a completely different show, but I just think that there was some of those classic songs where it's like, dang dog, like we got to hear All Right, like that's just that's like the cultural anthem that people live by in the George Floyd era. So I just think that, I don't really understand not performing that song. But outside of that, I think the performance itself was really dope.
I just think we don't get to dictate what any performer does. I think he performed what he performed. It was good. I think he performed some of his new music. And some people, I've seen an article right now that says, they're confused why he didn't perform all right in front of the president. Like, we have to stop asserting what we think somebody should do, especially an artist, or what they should do because Trump is there, or this or that.
I think that,
we got to let artists be artists. And I think he did a hell of a job tonight. And I think SZA did a dope job too. The songs they chose were great. Mm-hmm. And I do like to see artists get outside of just performing older music. But But to that point, I do wish he would have performed Swimming Pools.
No, we don't get to dictate what he performs.
No, I said I wish he would have, but I don't say we don't get to dictate it.
Yeah, we don't get to dictate.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it would have been dope.
Yeah.
You know
I think he should. I mean, that's all I'm saying. I think he should have performed some of the slaps, like the old slaps.
All right is not a slap. It's a message more than it's a slap.
Swimming Pools is a message.
Yeah, it is a message, but it's more of a slap.
Anyways, I'm just saying what I wanted to hear. But I just think that I think that for me as like a Kendrick Lamar fan, I thought the new album was good. But I think that he has I just personally, I think he has better music in his catalog than some of the songs that he performed on the stage. And I wouldn't even say better, but I just think like just the longevity of it, songs that are like, that have kind of stood the test of time, and that have really resonated with people. We're talking about Good Kid, Mad City. We're talking about To Pimp a Butterfly. We're talking about, just those two albums primarily that have like, Damn, and I'm just saying that there was a lot of meat left on the bone. Not that there's like, I'm sure he like they thought out the sequencing of the songs, and they put a lot of thought into that, and what type of energy he wanted to bring to the show, and I don't think there was anything wrong.
I just don't know if there were conversations that were that happened prior, that surrounding of what he should or shouldn't play.
No, what do you mean?
I don't know if there was any conversations prior to him performing of what songs he should or shouldn't play. I don't know. I'm just saying it may be all right due to its specific symbolism that he already had in one of the Super Bowls. If that's something that would have, been okay with the NFL or with whoever, since they know the president's going to be there.
Oh, I don't know. I think the reason probably why he didn't was I think he performed it at the Super Bowl with Dr. Dre, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that might be a reason.
But you want to beat it down?
I think he still, I still would have liked to have seen it, but that's just me. But yeah, I'd agree with you with SZA. I think SZA, she sounded really good. I was a little bit skeptical of SZA because I think the last time that I heard her, performing was at the Christmas thing, and it didn't sound, at least from what I seen, I didn't watch the whole thing, but it didn't sound like too great. But she sounded really good up there, so I was happy to see that she was sounding good up there. So shout out to her.
What I've learned is to give artists grace when they have a shitty performance, because I've heard Mariah Carey sound like shit, terrible. She tried to hit a high note. She's like, I'm like, oh my god. It happened to Giveon too. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah, he has some auto-tune glitch.
He was like, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you're trying to sing with auto-tune live. Like, it's not a great idea.
Yeah, that shit was not good. But and also let's talk about some of the things that probably a lot of people call. Serena Williams was up there dancing, doing like her whatever her version of the Crip Walk was, which was fine. Mm-hmm. I thought it was dope when they zoomed in there. That's when it started heating up at the very end.
Yeah.
I wish it would be dope if we had a play-by-play to play it live, But I mean, we're on a podcast; we can only go by memory.
And they're gonna strike it too. They be trying.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna let you have that on there. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. But when he was teasing, saying, people like to sue.
Yeah.
And then when he finally did that, dun, 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 dun,
yeah, because he had like it was kind of like a little not the little, but the girl dancers that were on there, and they were doing like a call and response kind of thing. And then, like you said, he mentioned that like it was almost like in my eyes when I'm watching it, I'm like, dang, like when I heard him say, you know, we want to like they want basically the girls were saying we want to hear the song we could dance to or something like that. And then he was like, well, you know, I would play it, but people like to sue or something like that. So he kind of teased it there. And then he just went to another song, and I was like, "Oh, it's like he not gonna play it," you know, because that was the biggest debate. The biggest debate about the Super Bowl and Kendrick performing was, is he going to perform not like us? And then it wasn't even that, you know, was he going to perform it just in general? But then also we got this lawsuit. We got UMG. We got you know Lucian Grange and Dr. Dre high-fiving each other. Like, what is going to happen at the Super Bowl? Like, what, or is he going to perform the song that's like so controversial? And so that first time I was like, dang, he's not gonna do it. And I think you know, and like I said, that I think if he didn't perform it, I think for me I would have been like, dang, like I said, I think there was still some meat left on the bone. But yeah,
I think that when he said, you know, he obviously did not say the word pedophile. He like basically cut it so people could clearly hear him not say it. But he did say Drake. He said his name, like, say Drake. I heard you like him young, right? And then he better not ever go to cell block 1. And then when he was doing, I'm like, this fool is really doing this shit on the live stage. And when he said it's trying to strike a chord, but he said A minor, but that's not really bad because he's trying to strike a chord, but it's A minor, which is literally a chord.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to take it out of context, you could say it's insinuating that he's a pedophile. Fine, but at the same, he did not call him that. Like, he did not say pedophile in that song.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to break down like what is legal or not, but I just think that energy, him looking into the camera and being like saying his name,
I'm on your head.
That is diabolical, dog.
Yeah, it is.
That is so crazy.
But I will say this, because Drake been looking real corny lately, man. Because I'm very objective with this, and as a fan of Drake's music and Kendrick, I will say Drake been extra corny. He had a shirt with bullet holes and smoke coming out of it.
Yeah,
like he just been looking just corny.
Like I survived.
Yeah, And then here's the thing, this is where Kendrick can start looking corny. Kendrick can start looking corny if he doesn't let this moment go. I think that Kendrick's career is obviously much more than a moment, but this is probably the hottest he has ever been in his whole career. I could objectively say that. And it's not because of just Drake. It's because he's been putting out really fucking great music. He put out a really fucking great album. However, after his tour is up, if this nigga is still insinuating things about Drake, it's just going to look weak. Like, and then he had the game over at the end, right? I would hope that after his tour and all of these, he's going to still perform these songs. But after this is all said and done, I just hope that he could just go back to just being Kendrick Lamar.
To me, I think he's kind of already over it. I just think the song is so huge you can't really like not do anything about it.
Oh, I said that's now. That's present tense. I said
no,
afterwards.
I know, I get that. What I'm saying is I think that when I hear him talk, like he don't really conversate about not like us. Like, you know, I think he's kind of like he's not in a space where, you know, he's like beating it down on everybody. I just think that from my perspective, I think the song just got so big that, you know, you have to you would be dumb not to like capitalize on it. But yeah, I think he'll be done. Like after this tour, I don't see him doing like, you know, even with the who knows if he's going to drop more music this year or not. But I think the next project he puts out is going to be back to like. And like I said, I think this album was good, the GNX album. But I think the next album is going to be like back to like the Kendrick that we know, like the kind of like the sequencing of it all, like in terms of the subject matter. It's not going to be like rapidy rap album. I think it's going to be more like that kind of storytelling thing. And I don't think he's going to be subliminally saying anything about Drake after this.
Yeah, I just hope that's the whole thing's done. Yeah, because I mean they're both still really good. Let me tell you what's very fake. The fact that people are just like, Drake is whack, all his music is trash. Just shut the fuck up. Stop lying. Drake's an amazing artist. I don't care how corny he's been as of recent.
I will say when I see Drake though, like this, he has this album coming out with Party Next Door. just for me, and I'm a Drake fan. Like I outside of like last year, I would listen to Drake way more than Kendrick Lamar. But after this battle, like I would say that I don't really listen to Drake as much.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I'm not saying that there's his music is worse now or whatever the case may be. I just think that he kind of like, I don't know, Kendrick shifted my perspective on Drake. Even when I see him now, like when I see him performing in Australia or whatever, and the bullet holes in the back and the smoke and everything, it just like
it's off-putting.
It just like it doesn't. You just hear the music. It sonically sounds different just based off of, you know, the battle. And you know, I actually feel bad for Drake, you know, because I feel like he got into a situation where he had more to lose, and I think that that's where he really took a misstep because you're battling. It's like, you know, when you have these Smack DVD battles or whatever the case may be, and a lot of that stuff is like, you know, they're pulling up information, you know, obviously that's in the news, and then they're pulling up like personal information because they might be like paying the homie, you know, that's in the gang that like has some information. They talk about your baby moms. They talk about like situations where you got in a fight and you ran. They talk about situations where you shot somebody shot you and then like, you know, you didn't get your get back. Like these are like the things that people are bringing up in rap battles. But what happened in this situation with Drake and Kendrick is that Drake was the person that just had more dirt in his closet or more skeletons in his closet.
Yeah.
And we still don't really know everything. Like we're talking about like the album cover for Meet the Grams and 616 in LA with like the gloves and all this stuff, who, you know, like who knows who it belonged to. I don't know if it was his dad's clothes, or we're talking about Ozempic bottles and like, you know, T-shirts and like a bunch of like stuff that is, you know, connected to Drake. But I say all that to say like Kendrick is pretty clean. Like the only things that we know about him is like stuff that he said in his music. You know what I mean? Like stuff that he talked about getting stomped out and, you know, fighting and stuff in Compton and, you know, getting stomped out in front of his mom and sleeping with white women and things like that. But when Drake tried to like make it sound like dope in like a rap form, it just sounded like, you know, he was reaching, you know, with the whole day free being.
He pulled an 8 Mile on him.
No, I wouldn't even say that.
Basically, everything you said about me, I already said about myself.
I wouldn't even say that because I think it didn't really work for Drake. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like but I know that's what I'm saying. The 8 Mile is that the thing with 8 Mile is that was saying Papa Doc wasn't able to say anything when it was his turn to go. He couldn't rap because he had said everything, but that wasn't really the case in this thing. Drake said you were going to say all these things, and then Kendrick said all these things, and then it turned into the number one record in the world. But I'm just saying that I think that Kendrick's life was just too clean, and Drake had too many skeletons in his closet, and he engaged in a rap battle where he started mentioning Whitney. He started saying, you know, certain things about Kendrick's personal like life, and Kendrick just went mania on him. Yeah,
but when he mentioned like Vanilla Cream and all this other stuff about Kendrick, it didn't land, is what I'm saying. It didn't land because he had already said these things. It wasn't like it was like he was, whatever he was implying worked. So that it was just a dud whenever Drake did it. But I'm not going to say Drake didn't have some dope diss battles. I mean, diss records, because he did.
Yeah.
But it just didn't land the way Kendrick did. I will say this, though. This is a clear-cut situation of authenticity versus inauthenticity. And people forget, you could be a good artist, but when you're not a real person, it backfires every motherfucking time. Yeah. Every time. And I don't know Drake from here to nowhere, but some of the shit that he's doing it just doesn't make any sense. That guy's almost my age, almost 40. He has some huge blue boots on with a shirt that said, wait till you see and it had an arrow pointing down. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
I just think that's a little weird.
It's a little weird to be that age.
To be hit the age, but more so like we're talking about somebody calling you a pedophile on national TV. Like, I just don't understand. Like why you would walk out the house with that on. Even like they were talking about it on Joe Budden's podcast. They was like, yo, you there's a conversation going around in these songs, and
is that your phone doing that? It's probably, I don't know if it's the thing, but go ahead.
There's a conversation going around in these songs calling you, saying you like minors, and you're like, you know, you're kind of like pandering. Kendrick has that line about pacifying and using that kind of like as a double entendre, you know, to kind of catering to kids and stuff like that. And you're like alluding to like you dropping like a video or a picture of you naked. You know what I mean? Like swinging your penis around. You know what I mean?
It's weird.
Like,
He said it's Big D and his video proof
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah. So
that's weird.
These are like you mentioned, like, you know, not really having like solid people around, or like, you know, not having anybody around that could just be like, yo, dog, that's not the move. Like, don't wear that shirt, or maybe you should change that line, or hey man, like last time you mentioned somebody's wife, like, you know, your kid got outed. Like maybe you should just keep it rap. You know, like just having, you know, somebody like that. Like, you know, and there's been times where I think you know, like, and I can't really name something specific, but, you know, there's been different rap battles in history where somebody may pull the two artists to the side and be like, hey, like, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this, or maybe we shouldn't take it there. Let's end it right here, or something like that. But there wasn't really anybody to tell Drake, like, hey, like, let's just keep it rap. You know what I mean? Like, even people make fun of J. Cole for backing out, but his response was not about Kendrick's wife or whatever. It was literally about rap and music and his albums and stuff like that. And I think if that was like the battle, you know, that was going to happen, which it didn't end up happening, it would have just been rap. You know what I mean? But once you, like Kendrick said, like, you know, let's don't tell no lies about me, and I won't tell no truths about you. And that, like, dog, we like 10, 11 months in now of Drake just getting smacked around.
Yeah,
you know, musically.
I just think we need to be careful so we don't have too many circular conversations surrounding this rap beef shit. It's been on the internet for a long time, and people have been beating the fuck out of this narrative. A lot of people might be tired of hearing this. So I want to jump back into the actual show. I think that in regards to the show, everybody's not going to agree on how good or bad it was. So if you loved it, that's great. If you didn't like it, that's fine too. And I think that we also, something that's not being mentioned, is we have to learn how to have our own opinions. Like, it's wild how many people are arguing over something being good or bad. It doesn't matter how much I fucking argue with you. It's not going to change your opinion. Mm-hmm. And I don't get why grown-ass adults are on the internet fighting over this. I just don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a performance, man. Art is subjective. I could think it's the greatest thing in the world. You could think it's the worst thing in the world. And I don't have the right to tell you otherwise. It's just the way it is, man.
Yeah. Some of it is confirmation bias, too. If you're not the biggest Kendrick Lamar fan.
Yep.
Then you're already like, you know, you're already kind of looking at it from a negative space.
Absolutely.
You know? And I just think for like when I also think not everybody's opinion is valid, because you have like certain people like I think there's a certain subjectiveness or like there's a certain objectiveness to art, right? Like, for example, like just the choreography and the stage design. I just think that like if you're looking at that just from an art piece, you know how he has the X and the square and the triangle and the circle, and you know he has like the color palette of the reds and the blues. I think anybody could look at that and be like, oh, that's like, I like the way that it was set up. Maybe you don't like the music. Maybe you're not a fan of the GNX album.
Right.
Maybe you're not a fan of the way that Kendrick Lamar raps.
Right.
I get it. But I think that if we are just being objective, I just don't see how you can say like that was the worst show, or
absolutely
Lil Wayne should have been the one performing. Or
it's
whatever.
confirmation bias.
Yeah.
And it's confirmation bias both ways, because if you hate, like you mentioned, you hate Drake. Mm-hmm. If you don't like Drake at all, and you say that's the best show ever, you're probably only doing it because you hate Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem too. Like you don't. That's when your opinion becomes invalid because it's just confirming your bias against somebody already.
What if Drake is behind some of these conversations?
What do you mean? Which ones?
Like the negativity about the Twitter. There's some people that we know personally that was like, oh, the show is terrible. But what if Drake is behind some of this, like paying certain individuals or like bots or something out there to spew the negativity about this show?
If he's doing that, he needs to speak to somebody. Like he needs to go talk to like a therapist or somebody. And the reason why I say that seriously is because when you are fixed on being number one, you don't know how to be number two. That's the most important. You don't know how to take an L. You don't know how to lose. You got to learn how to lose in life. You really do. And this is not like some motivational speech.
Yeah.
It's the truth. When you don't know how to lose, then you're going to have a hard time winning again. And you're going to do anything to win and be on top, and it's never going to work again. The only way you create a winning formula is by losing. Nobody starts as a fucking winner from day one. That does not help.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan got his ass whooped by the Pistons every year until he finally was able to win.
I think that you're 100% right. I guess I'm kind of wondering how that translates to music. But I will say that there are people that have kind of fell off and then kind of caught a second win. There's certain artists. What's the dude's name? Like, he did that Uptown Funk with Bruno Mars. I think his name was like Mark Ronson or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But he was like an older, I think he's like a producer, but he just kind of caught one, years later after he kind of like, wasn't in his like quote unquote prime anymore. Mm-hmm. But I think like similarly to what you're saying, like if you're Drake and you've been on top of the game so long, you can't even fathom like losing a rap battle in that way. You can't even fathom Kendrick Lamar having 10 more million monthly listeners than you on Spotify because you've been dominating the streaming era for the past 10 plus years. You know what I mean? So I can see that there's a version of that where he can't really understand what that looks like.
What I've learned more than anything, if you stick around long enough, people will hate you. I think it happens to a lot of artists. You see Snoop one decision away, and people just not really fucking with Snoop right now. Mm-hmm. They're not really fucking with him. All it took was him to do that performance at that crypto ball. And there's people in his comments, fuck you, sell out, sell out, sell out, sell out. Yeah. All through his comment section. You see Drake with this shit now. Kendrick has become a darling. There was a general consensus for the longest that said the big three is Kendrick, Cole, and Kendrick for the longest, right? And then
Kendrick, Cole, and Drake.
And Drake, excuse me. Mm-hmm. And freaking, now we get to this point, and Kendrick is starting to separate himself right now. And he's like everyone's darling. But the scary part about this, and Kendrick hopefully does not learn, but Kendrick strikes me as the type of person that will like literally go off the grid before that happens. Is like he can make one statement or make one song or say one thing, and then people just start hating him.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kendrick, once he probably sees that, he might just disappear.
Yeah. One thing I will say, too, is that when it comes to the internet, I was showing you a Twitter page earlier where there was one person that was like, yo, this is a legendary, performance. And then the next tweet was like, this was like the worst, Super Bowl.
It was mediocre.
Yeah, it was a mediocre. So it's just like, I know that there are people, like there's not a lot of authenticity on the internet.
No.
There's not a lot of people actually sharing their opinion because there is likes, retweets, comments connected to things. So I think a lot of people, instead of just sharing what they actually, like, Twitter says, I think it still does ask, like, what's on your mind or whatever. People are not really sharing what's on their mind. They're sharing, like, what is going to get their tweet to go viral.
They're trying to win the internet. Mm-hmm. They're trying to win the internet. I will say this. Anything that uses limited characters, you should not really look at. So, for example, me and Keith are on a podcast, and I'm telling you, we watched the game. We watched Patrick Mahomes look like half of himself. We looked at the Philadelphia Eagles defense just dominant. knocking him on his ass the whole game. We looked at Travis Kelce being ineffective. We looked at all of these things, right? But if I just got on Facebook and said, Patrick Mahomes doesn't look good, there's going to be people, you didn't mention the defensive line, or the offensive line's not blocking, or this and that. It's because people are used to they're used to responding with lack of nuance. So when you go on Twitter and you follow their characters, there's only X amount of characters you can write. You're trying to write what grabs people rather than what's true. And that's where we fucked up as a society. That's why I don't really believe in texting people a lot. That's why I don't really believe in just trying to connect with people through posts too much, because there's a lack of nuance. And that's why podcasts are probably so big too. It's harder for you to misinterpret what the message is that I'm trying to give you when you have to listen to me with full context, actually verbally. You go on these fucking platforms, dude, you can't, man, these people are just looking to argue. They're looking to argue with limited characters. How worse can it get, man?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I also think Lil Wayne is a great, he's one of the greatest rappers of all time, but I just don't, he not doing that. And and that's no disrespect to Lil Wayne, but like, just like I said, the creativity that went into the show, and I don't even want to compare that. I'm just saying, like, Kendrick Lamar deserved to have that show. He had a great year.
Yeah.
And he's going to continue to have a great year in 2025 with his stadium tour, him and SZA. And there's not a need for the conversation to have Lil Wayne.
And for those wondering why he mentioned Lil Wayne, it's because Lil Wayne had mentioned his dislike of not being chosen for the Super Bowl show because he's from New Orleans. And there was some conversation, and the people that were, pretty much kind of being inauthentic, or some of them may have been, that's how they feel. They felt that Lil Wayne would have did a better job than Kendrick. It's like, bro, I've seen freaking Lil Wayne perform not too long ago, and he just looked like a fucking drug addict up there. Like some people might think that's a harsh criticism, but he didn't look good. He looked like he was either under the influence of something, or he didn't get any sleep, whatever it was. But as a performer, that's what you do. You perform. You don't get up there all doped up, looking like you rolled out the side of the bed and you expect to be in the Super Bowl. That's like, dude, that's just entitlement. No, I don't give a fuck who you are. If you don't take pride in what you do, you don't deserve shit.
Kendrick talked about one of the kids asked him in his pre-Super Bowl interview. One of the kids asked him, like, basically, like, how does he prepare for his show? And he talked about working out. He was like, basically talking about running, like running miles. You know what I mean? So I just don't think Lil Wayne is running miles, like plural. Yeah, I don't really see it. But I think Lil Wayne, I think he had his run. I would say also, I think if Lil Wayne's shot is probably only his percentage of actually performing as a headliner at the Super Bowl is going to like progressively get lower, because you got to think the people that are performing at the Super Bowl are like actual like great performers. You have like, Kendrick is moving. Like he said in the little, I'd say little, but he mentioned in the I think it was the ad with SZA. He was like, yeah, like it was like a phone conversation that they recorded, and it was like, yeah, I'm just trying to get right, man. He's like, that this field is a lot bigger than what people think, right? And like that's the case. Like you can't for Kendrick to be the first rapper that was like headlining as like a solo artist. Dr. Dre did it, but they were saying like that was more of a collective performance, but. For him to be moving around and rapping and saying every single word and, to be doing all that, it requires a certain level of like physical,
absolutely,
physicality.
Shout out to Donald Glover too. We seen that first.
Yeah. So, we know what that takes.
Absolutely.
And what that requires. And it's not for just anybody. So
absolutely,
like shout out to Kendrick.
Yeah. And a lot of these artists, have issues with drugs and alcohol, and they perform. And as you get older, that's going to get harder to do. Your body's getting beat down. So when you're out there losing your voice and people paid good money, by the way, it's crazy how some of these artists will just abuse drugs and alcohol, get on stage and have a shit performance. But some of those people, and we're not even talking about the Super Bowl, just in general, those people paid for babysitters to come see you. Those people saved up money from their regular jobs to come see you. So it should be your job that when you get your ass on that stage, you need to give them everything you got. Because those tickets and these shows are not cheap. Like, if I seen Kanye get up there and I paid for tickets and he like, yeah, and he just start yelling and he walk off the stage, I'm like, I want my money back now. Give me my fucking money back now.
Yeah.
I
get up there and start talking about Hitler and whatnot. I'm like, dog, I need a refund.
This nigga Kanye get up there like, Hitler wasn't really that bad. Like, nigga, get off the stage.
Yeah. I was going to get in on the joke, but then I was like, if they clip that up, it's going to sound crazy.
Oh, yeah. So somebody going to take it like, don't listen to these niggas. They listen.
Yeah. So I just stay away from that. Yeah. Just read his Twitter. You'll see what's
somebody
going on.
have some crazy clips of me later on.
Yeah.
When this pod just really take off, they're going to be like, Hitler wasn't that bad. Eddie likes Hitler.
Yeah.
My name is Soto, and I endorse this message. Damn. I can't run for office no more.
Yeah, you gotta chill.
It'll be crazy. Like, you'll be saying that sometimes people clip stuff up to make you look crazy. They're like, I like it in the butt. Like, man, what the hell does this nigga say?
Yeah, or use the AI to clip it together.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Put like fake lips and mouth on you and shit.
This one thing I would say, like, not to switch subjects entirely, but I wouldn't say I hate the internet, but I think that Twitter is a place where, like, I think if you're any creative, I think you should not utilize Twitter if you don't need to. Like,
absolutely.
I think the way that artists, i.e., like, and we always mention these artists is primarily because they move in the right way, right? When you have like a Kendrick, who, we talked about his post before, how he, only posts like his music dropping and or tour and or Super Bowl performance and stuff like that. And then we a guy like J. Cole, who frequently talks about how, he'll remove certain social media from his phone, or, if he does, he doesn't scroll anymore. He's not looking for, certain things on Twitter and things like that. But I say that to say, like, I see so much negativity online. Like, if I'm Kendrick, especially because, one, you're going to see a lot of negativity, and two, the algorithm is going to continue to show the negative thing if you stay on that post for any amount of time. But say I'm Kendrick, I felt like the show was really good. Everybody was in the audience. They were singing the songs and things like that. People are texting you like, yo, congratulations, it was amazing. You got the team showing you love, and then you scroll on Twitter and somebody's like, this is the worst show I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Oh, they should have had Lil Wayne out there. Oh, they should have had Taylor Swift out there. Oh, the one last year was better. Oh, the one 2 years ago was better. Like, when are they going to start having good shows? And you can get consumed with that. So I say that to say, like, I feel like if you're a person that is putting out anything, and you're looking for, you're putting, like, we're doing this for entertainment. Like, right, we put out this podcast because we want people to consume it and enjoy it. But if you're putting out anything, I think you got to be very mindful and protect your energy, because there's so much negativity on the internet that I just think that you gotta find a way to protect yourself from all of that.
I think we need to find a way to, like, reverse engineer platforms, or create just new platforms that create more healthy conversations. Mm-hmm. So, for example, like, when you see people like, yo, like clown emojis, there needs to be a platform where no emojis are allowed. There are no like buttons. Remove the like button, remove photos, remove videos, and create a platform where there is healthy conversation. You could even remove cursing. And it's okay for you to have, disagreements, but learning how to communicate in a healthy way.
Right.
And I think that it's going to attract the people it's supposed to attract.
Yeah. And
I think that what's going to happen is when you get enough people that create strikes on that platform, you just get banned for life. Mm-hmm. And I think that even if you disagree, you can say, I don't think he's a good coach at all. He needs to find somewhere else to go, or I don't like this at all, or whatever. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But if you're like, yeah, you a sloppy piece of shit, that's why you don't like the Jets, you'd be like, that's not effective communication.
Yeah. And I would say, too, what happens a lot of times is a lot of these conversations won't happen in real life.
Absolutely not.
Like, there's nobody that's going to walk up to Kendrick and be like, Lil Wayne should have performed. Like, they're going to be so much in awe if they seen him in person that they would have only compliments to say,
Sometimes it does happen, though, Keith. It happened to Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce was basically assaulted. He was tripped by somebody.
Yeah.
And then as he walked away and he was already mad, there was a dude with the video on him and said, hey, why's your brother maggot? Words and rhymes with maggot.
Yeah.
And then he turned around, took that dude's phone and fucking broke it in a bunch of pieces on the ground. Because sometimes this is the reason why we have to create a platform where people are having more healthy conversations, because what happens is they start to translate out in the real world, and that will get you fucked up.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I hear what you're saying. It does happen in the real world, but it doesn't happen like in a vacuum.
No.
If that makes sense. Yeah. Like if Jason Kelce and random college kid are going up an elevator and there's no technology in there, he not saying that. You know what I mean? Like, he only saying that because he got the phone in front of his face and he want to make it a moment. It's the same thing like with those like TikTok reactor people, that walk up on people. Like the one what's the dude that kind of like calls celebrities the wrong name or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he'll walk up on somebody that's like light skinned and kind of tall and be like, "Oh, what's up, Barack Obama?" You know what I mean? Like, So, but that's what the phone out. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these conversations go very differently.
You can get fucked up.
Yeah.
They did that to the food reviewer. The guy that was crazy on TikTok. God damn it, I forgot.
Talking about Keith Lee?
Keith Lee. Mm-hmm. He walked up to Keith Lee. He's like, "Hey, DDG, man. Hey, DDG, I love your music, man, DDG." And he was like, "Whoa, man, chill out." Mm-hmm. Not understanding that Keith Lee is an ex fucking UFC MMA fighter, man. Mm-hmm. He will fuck you up.
Yeah.
And you playing with this dude like this? This is it needs to stop. I think the internet has distorted our minds so much that we think that what we're doing is normal, and it's not fucking normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal. The way we interact, everything is bad. Like, it's affected every facet of reality, whether it's watching a football game and picking apart the halftime show in an unhealthy way.
Yeah.
Or not being able to like disagree in a respectful way.
Right.
Even like we already mentioned the whole dating thing. Like, it's like fast food because we don't have real communication. It's like going to Wendy's. Like, this shit is not real.
Yeah.
But
the
reason why me and Keith have had conversations about Kendrick and the halftime show so much is just the game was just not the focal point.
Yeah,
for
sure.
It just wasn't,
man. Such a blowout.
It was such a blowout. There's not much to say. Jalen looked good. Patrick just did not look good at all. He looked very bad, actually. And I just don't think it's because he was bad. It's just that defense was so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
It's bad. But I think what we can do, we don't want to beat a dead horse here. We could jump on the commercials. We had some pretty good commercials. Ain't that right, Keith?
Yeah.
All right.
I think, wait, let me make sure I didn't have anything written down about the show. I think that was pretty much it. But yeah, just like kind of moving on from that, I just think it was a solid performance. And like I said, I'm going to go back and watch it a couple more times just to see, like, if I caught anything. And what I will say, too, like, I think you could nowadays, you can kind of get a sense of who a person is. Remember back in the day, they would always say, like, never meet your idols or whatever. And they say that as a way to say, like, oftentimes when you meet celebrities, like, they have this personality in interviews and on the radio station and in their music that they're like these really amazing people. But then, somebody would be like, "Hey, such and such, can I get an autograph?" And they'd be like, "Yo, get out of my face." You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like the conversation that goes around. I think to me, just from like his interviews and just from like his humble beginnings and what people say about him, I think Kendrick is a decent person. And I think that for me, I just like to see decent people, win in life. And it's I think that outside of all the beef and stuff like that, I think it's dope to see somebody that's a good, seems like a good person winning and continue to to thrive. And the stadium tour and doing the Super Bowl and stuff like that. So shout out to Kendrick.
Somebody just said something about Kendrick. It was actually fucking hilarious. It was a person that supposedly didn't like the performance, but he said turn the TV off, and I did.
That's hilarious.
Oh man. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, man. Let's look at the commercials. There was a lot of commercials. I think there was a theme to a lot of these commercials. It's too cheap, and it's all comic relief, most of them. Like, it's just getting more bizarre. These commercials are getting more bizarre. There was a Doritos UFO trying to take the bag. It was just, it's just too predictable. It's predictably odd, right? But the commercials that resonate the most, at least with me, are the ones that are the most normal and the ones that have the most powerful message. One of them to me was Rocket Money. Rocket Money just showed, just diverse family, black, white, Asian, and like the theme of that commercial was the American dream, right? Mm-hmm. And it showed people just, achieving the American dream in a different way, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought that was super dope. And I feel like it really connected.
Hey, yeah, I was sorry to cut you off, but I just wanted to tell you, like, everyone's starting to short, and like, shout out to this guy. So I went to Planet Fitness, right? And I hadn't been there in a minute. And it was one of those bills that was like, one of those bills that would pop up on Rocket Money and let me know, like, hey, you spending $24.99 a month, and it ain't say you ain't been there, but I know I haven't been there.
Say you ain't shit.
Get your ass in the gym. So I go there, and it was like a weird like interaction, right? So I go there, and when I try to check in, you check in on the app.
Yeah.
I try to check in, and it basically say like, "Hey, pay your bill." Like, your bill's
really?
Like, yeah. It doesn't let you check in because you have a past due.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah. So I was trying to pay it on the app, but it was like taking too long, and I was like, "Dog, I'm just right here. Let me just walk in and pay the bill." So I walk in, and I was like, "Hey, can I pay my bill in here? Like, it's past due or whatever." And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So it's like the employees are behind the desk, and it's like him, and then it's like somebody, like, I don't know the hierarchy of it all, but there's somebody that seems like more of like a manager, kind of overseeing everything, right? So he was like, "Yeah, sure things." He was like, "I'll help you out over here." So he pulls the thing aside, and he's like, "All right, let me just put the thing in there real quick." And then he's like, and then he was kind of like talking really low. He was like, just give me a second. All right. And I was like, okay. And then I seen the thing pop, like the price pop up on the like the little the ATM thing. So I go over there, and then I tap it or whatever. And then he was like, hold on real quick. And then he cancels it. He's like, let me put it in like one more time. And then I was like, all right, and mind you, like, time is passing. So I'm just like, dog, what are you doing? Like, what, like, is the computer taking a while to load, or what are you putting in some information, whatever the case may be. So eventually, like, the guy walks away, and then he's like, all right, go ahead and tap it again. And then he was like, so I tapped it, and then I paid for it, and I was like, all right, cool, thank you. It was like, yeah, I was just, taking the late fees off of it. So basically, he was waiting till like the manager had walked off.
Wow.
Too. And I was like, oh, like it all dawned on me. Like, I was like, oh, like, thank you. So shout out to him for taking off those fees. For
Must have been a fan of the pod. It's like,
sure.
I love y'all pod, nigga, but you need to pay your bill. I ran into a couple of people that recognized me from the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't ever take that lightly. You know what I mean? Even if I'm in the middle of working out and I'm working out hard, if you're like, hey, I listen to the pod, I'm like, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's the cool thing. Like, we're going to continue to grow, and, we just like regular people. So it'd be like people that, like my little brother was saying, like somebody he ran into was listening to the pod, and like, it'd be situations with you in the gym, and I've had people recognize my voice, like on some weird stuff, like, just different things like that. So yeah, shout out to them.
Yeah, what was that noise?
I kicked the mic stand.
Oh, I was like, damn, somebody shooting at us? Many men wish death upon Keith. Blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. And niggas trying to take my pod away.
Oh, dang.
Put a hole in the nigga. All right, the Rocket Money one was a great commercial, man. I just felt like it
was really dope.
It really connected. It was simple. It was straight to the point. It's like these commercials have become so bizarre that I'm leaning more into the strong messaging. Another one that I liked, the Nike's women ad. With all the
that was really dope.
I thought it was dope. It basically said, you can't win, so do it anyways. And I thought that was a powerful message.
Yeah.
And the reason why is
dope.
I'm a fan of women's sports, not on some fake shit. I have an older sister that played 4 years varsity basketball. So I grew up watching a lot of women's sports. And, I see a lot of the commentary about women playing sports like, oh, she looks like a man, or I don't want to watch this. There's too many lesbians playing, or oh, she's just she's always she's trying to be a model instead of a basketball player, or oh, she's going to the club again, or all this or that. There's just a lot of commentary about women's basketball players, and no one is
layup league.
Yeah, oh, they just do nothing but layups and all that. Like, the thing about it is this, man. No one is above reproach. I'm not saying women are above reproach, but I am saying a lot of the commentary is just unnecessary bullshit. Yeah. And I can see, not exactly from their vantage point, but I can see what they're dealing with. Yeah. And it's just unnecessary bullshit.
I think that commercial is fire on multiple levels, because there's a version of it where if you're a young girl and you from Bakersfield, you in junior high right now, you go to whatever junior high and you hooping and you working out with Tim and you getting it in every day.
Yeah.
And you kind of have like, there's this goal to be in the WNBA or play NCAA tournaments and stuff like that. But you have this glass ceiling. Yeah. Like, man, nobody's going to care. WNBA doesn't get paid that much, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So, like, from that perspective, if I'm watching that, like, do it anyways. Like, there's always going to be hate or, people talking negatively about you. Do it anyway. But there is also a version of it where anybody can receive that message. Like, they not going to listen to your pod. They going to hate your pod. They going to talk negatively about you online, but do it anyways. You know what I mean? Because they going to talk about you regardless, negatively, positively, whatever the case may be. So, as a person that's not a woman athlete, I received that message like, yo, that's dope. Like, just whatever you want to do it anyways, because there's going to be some conversation, negatively, positively, whatever. There's going to be a conversation about it anyway. So
absolutely. But I think that the range of women in the commercial that I can remember offhand, it was Caitlin Clark, it was Juju Watkins, it was
Sha'Carri
Richardson, it was Sabrina Ionescu.
The gymnast, I forget her name.
The gymnast, I forgot her fucking name. Fuck, but she's good. And
I could look it up.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I think that there's a lot. The commentary is like, oh, look at this, just classless. Why are they fighting? They're supposed to be women. Like, why are they arguing? Like, I watch men yell and scream all fucking day in the NBA games or the NFL games. They got to break up fights.
Jordan Childs?
Yeah, Jordan Childs. That's who it is. Jordan Childs. And then who are the other athletes, just to make sure?
I just looked at those.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But I think we named them all.
Yeah, he named them all. But my thing is I'm a real one, because when all the women was coming across the screen, I already knew who they all were. And that's the thing, man. I think it's important to if you're a sports fan too, like to be abreast to a lot of no pun intended, to be abreast to a lot of things. I think it's important to check it out. But I thought it was super dope. And shout out to Juju Watkins. God damn, she's making money. Shit. And the thing about it, I feel like Angel Reese would have been on there, but she signed a deal with Reebok. So since she signed that deal with Asia Wilson, that's another one.
Asia Wilson, we forgot about Asia.
Asia Wilson's another one that was on that commercial. So yeah, these are all like the top female athletes at their sport.
Yeah, shout out to, and then to kind of go along with that one, after the Eagles won, Jalen Hurts had like a similar kind of tone Jordan commercial.
Yes, it was a Jordan, but his was like it says I think it said the truth hurts. Like the truth hurts. This hurts. Losing hurts, this hurts, whatever. And then it said truth hurts, and it was a Jordan logo. But it was like right after he won, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
That was super dope. That was a very timely Jordan commercial. That was one of the ones I also liked. I didn't want to I wanted to speak on that separately, but it's not much to say on that one. And this one to me, it wasn't that it was the best one, but it was the one that got played and it had 2 different versions. And it was the hate commercial with Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady. And Snoop Dogg was like, I don't like what you think about me. And Tom was like, I don't care what you think about me. I don't like what you say this about me. I don't like you because I don't think you like me. And he said, it's sad we got to do this commercial. Right?
I hate that we have to do this commercial.
Yeah, I hate that we have to do this commercial. Right? And they had like 2 different versions of it. I just feel like Snoop wasn't street enough in the commercial, though. I feel like he should have been like more like Long Beach 20s Crip. I don't like you, bitch ass nigga. I don't like you, bitch ass nigga. Like, damn, Tom. Tom said the hard R. That'd be crazy. Like, I don't care about you, bitch ass nigga. I won a Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck about that, cuz I'm the winningest quarterback of all time. Fuck you, bitch. Why are we even doing this commercial, nigga? LBC.
That's funny.
Yeah, I wish you got the audio from that.
No, I don't want to play that though.
Oh, we'll get tagged for it.
No, I just we kind of get the gist of it.
I don't know. I'm sure everybody has seen it.
They just hate each other.
Somebody's probably pissed off because it's like it was a commercial that I liked that you guys aren't talking about.
There's a lot of commercials.
Now I will say there was one that was funny. Was a sloth commercial.
The sloth one, the beer one.
The beer one was it? I think it was Miller High Life, or they called it Monday High Life. I can't remember what it was, but it was a beer commercial.
Yeah,
and it was a scene in the commercial where this dude threw a beer to the sloth, and then the beer went right by him, and the sloth was still moving his hand.
He's trying to get it. Yeah,
that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was good. They the other one that I liked, I thought it was clever. It was the Seal commercial.
The Seal one was decent.
Yeah, there was I think it was a Mountain Dew commercial.
I think probably the most. I think the one, believe it or not, I thought about it. The commercial that had the strongest message out of all of them was the one about breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, that one was good because it had a what they call like a twist.
Oh, a big twist.
Yeah, it's like or misdirection. Because you would think that they're like the conversation, like we were guessing like Victoria's Secret skin, like we were thinking that it was going to be like some sort of bra commercial, but then they talked about, like in my mind I had a slight inkling that it was about breast cancer, but I didn't really guess it out loud. But when it I like you said at the end, when it's like, oh, this is a breast cancer commercial, you got Wanda Sykes on there talking about breast cancer and surviving breast cancer and detecting it, and using that instead of like gawking over freaking boobs, like let's take advantage of like getting tested and things like that. So yeah,
I thought it was a very what's the word, poignant, I guess you could say. It was a very poignant message, and here's why.
Poignant.
All right, I get it, Keith. All right, all right. I think it was that way because I'm watching the commercial, I'm waiting to find what the message is, and there's all these nice titties coming across the screen. I'm like, when's the message coming?
Those are great New York boobs.
I was like, what's going on here? And then once it got to the end, and basically the reason why I'm saying that is because that was the point of the commercial. Right. It was put up for you to, so basically here's the message. There's no problem when you're sexualizing titties, right? When you see these women half naked with their breast all out and you can sexualize them, but but there's a great importance to these breasts.
Yeah.
Which, is to get these early detections and these mammograms and whatnot. And I thought it was a great message, especially people who are, breast cancer survivors. I think that's where it makes sense.
Yeah.
And at the end, the dude was like staring straight at that girl's titties, and she was like, really? Right? But it's like, you don't have a problem sexualizing my breasts, but like, do you care about them?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I guess that I would assume that was the messaging or the intention behind the commercial. Because after a while, I'm just like, yo, is this like, are we just having a titty campaign here? Is the titty lady supposed to come out like, hey, we need to appreciate breasts? And that's the end of the commercial. I'll be like, all right, come on, guys.
Yeah. Another one that was weird was that Coffee Mate, the cold coffee foam or whatever commercial, the one with the tongue.
Oh man,
that was really weird.
That was weird. What? Okay, look, here's the problem. these people that sit at a desk and create these commercials, they need to understand that people want to use the actual product. If you're selling a product, you need to sell the product in a way that people want to actually buy it. So when you look at some nasty ass tongue going around in a circle, and then it's for a coffee brand like a coffee creamer, why the fuck would that make me want to buy that shit?
Yeah.
Like, I don't see the correlation between some dude with his tongue sticking out and then me. I'm not gonna look at this motherfucker and be like, "Ooh, I need that coffee creamer." Like, no.
Yeah. I think sometimes commercials like turn into like Super Bowl commercials, like trying to have a viral moment.
Yeah, they're becoming the weird pissing contest.
Yeah, instead of trying to actually do what a commercial is designed to do, is just like promote your business or the product that you have. These people are trying to trying to go viral on TikTok. And I think that's really weird.
Yeah.
I think we have to get back to that intentionality. And even if so here's the thing. Like, that commercial is kind of forgettable because when I watched it, I was like, I just kind of put it out of my mind. I had to actually look it up to see like what company that was. But even the Starbucks commercial, which was like really, really early on in the broadcast, it was it might have been before the actual game started. No, it was after the game started, but it was just a basic commercial. It just showed people making coffee, and it was just a basic commercial. It had like flashbacks to the old buildings and things like that. But that commercial resonated with me because it actually did what it was intended to do. It inspired people to like go show up to Starbucks and buy coffee. It wasn't weird. It wasn't like, people dancing inside a Starbucks or coffee beans turning into like humans, and like it didn't have that weird element. And I think that some companies, i.e. Mountain Dew, Taco Bell, these are kind of like the companies where you're going to get these off-kiltered like commercials, and it's semi-understandable, but Coffee Mate, like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to have dancing tongues and like floating tongues. And
some women like dancing tongues.
Yeah. Some men do too.
Oh, like, I love the way his tongue was on a commercial. It totally makes me want to buy coffee. Okay,
that's crazy.
All right, Butch. All right. Now, another one that actually, it was sort of like the breast commercial, the mammogram commercial, the breast cancer awareness, was actually the chat GPT commercial.
Yeah.
That commercial had you guessing, what is this? Is this IBM? Is this Intel? Like, what is this? And then it just started going and going and going. It was like, is this Wells Fargo? Like, what? And then all these different like logos started coming up and shit. We were just sitting there guessing. And then at the very end, it said Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Shout out to Chat GPT.
Yeah,
I think it's just cool that they got a commercial.
Yeah.
That's really dope.
I think that if you're like a restaurant, not even a restaurant, if you're like a company, and let's say you're like a coffee company, and there's like a guy there, and he's like, hey, no fancy graphics, nothing here, just some of the best tasting coffee you've ever had in your life. Thank you. And then you just pour the cup right there. And then you take a sip. And then the commercial ends.
Yeah.
I feel like that commercial would
like
have
super minimal.
It would have a lot of impact.
Yeah.
Like commercials like that remind me of, you remember that brand called Tom's? It was the most like minimalist looking shoe I've ever seen. It was just like a shoe that looked like it was wrapped. Like people looked like they were walking on tortillas.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? And it was just a minimal shoe.
Yeah.
But it was popular like a motherfucker for a while.
Yeah.
And that's what these commercials need to achieve.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the simple things that create impact.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's like you said, it's cool to have like the celebrity guest appearance and things like that. But I think a lot of commercials, because you want to think like, I think the day of the Super Bowl is cool to have like a commercial that people are talking about. But at the end of the day, like the Super Bowl is only one day, and you don't want a weird commercial just kind of like floating around, TV commercial spaces in YouTube and stuff like that if it's not really selling any products. At the end of the day, that's what the thing is intended for. I would be dope though. There's a I would love to be like in a space where, you know, be like in that creative marketing room with those companies, just to brainstorm and try to come up with ways to promote products. Because I feel like there's a lot of weird, you know, stuff going out there that, you know, it's not really being vetted by like really, really solid individuals. So I think they need like regular people in the room. I know, like Donald Glover talked about when he was writing Atlanta, how he had like obviously himself and a couple other seasoned writers in the room, but he was like also I had like YouTubers in there just to kind of give like just different perspectives. Like you have people that are not like, you know, USC film school graduates. These are people that just like, you know, they have like creative ways and they've garnered, you know, thousands of followers on YouTube, and they're in a writing room, like kind of bouncing off or kind of like building a like a gumbo of, you know, what do you call it? Like technically skilled writers, and then just kind of throwing their creativity in there. So they need different people in those rooms, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I think what it is they're just trying to one up each other at this point. It's just not really, it's not engaging people the way they think it is. Mm-hmm. I think eventually they're going to start paying attention to the commercials with just the minimal messaging that are the numbers are going up and they're selling more shit, and then everybody's going to start making regular commercials again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I feel like the ones that resonated the most, maybe I'm just a boring person. I don't know. Rocket Money, Nike, ChatGPT, the Snoop Dogg commercial, I say that. The Snoop Dogg and Tom Brady.
I thought Harrison Ford's Jeep commercial was interesting. Yeah, it was like electric Jeep. Yeah, I thought that was a good one. The one we were looking at the actors, it was When Harry Met Sally. It wasn't Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, it was a Harry Met Sally.
Harry Met Sally, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that was a nostalgia-based commercial.
Yeah, it was.
I think that people, you know, over a certain age group that connected with them. But I think if you're trying to connect with more people, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless it's your targeted audience. Like, only reason why I know or have an idea what that is because I'm 39 years old, right? And Keith is like a filmmaker, so he has like an idea of what that is. And because I don't really think you're that old to like know that what it like really is.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the I knew the context of it, but it wasn't like, you know, that wasn't
screaming at you.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it. I never really seen the movie, so it wasn't a thing. I've seen the clip though where he goes and he saves, you know, she's in like a party or whatever, and he goes in there and they're arguing and then they fall in love, and yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
Yeah, 90s movies are crazy. Mm-hmm. The freaking like if there was a woman and a man in a movie, they were leads, they always fell in love. Like in some capacity towards the end of the movie, you know. Mm-hmm. Like the most unlikely couple became a couple.
Yeah, that's generally how it goes.
Every fucking 90s movie.
Yeah, we're talking about what's the movie where the guy marries the prostitute or whatever?
Oh fuck, that's a true story, bro.
Who?
That happens all the time.
Oh,
men marrying prostitutes.
No,
I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm playing. God, what movie is that?
Is it? I think Julia Roberts or something like that.
Is it Pretty Woman?
Yeah, Pretty Woman. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah,
Pretty Woman.
Mm-hmm. Damn, yeah, movies like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a trip. Mm-hmm. I forgot about that movie.
Yeah,
my goodness, that's a classic '90s movie. That and all the Macaulay Culkin movies.
Yeah.
Need, like even like the Home Alones, they need to change the name of Home Alone to like Bad Parenting. That's what they should call it. Yeah. How the fuck do you leave Macaulay Culkin home all the time? It's happened like how many Home Alones is it? 3?
I think so.
Yeah. It's like 3. Like how do you leave this nigga home 3 times?
Yeah,
Kevin. Yeah, that's Bad Parenting, man.
Yeah, that was a commercial that she was in recently that kind of had that old reference in there. Yeah, people are doing that a lot. They're bringing back these movies and, you know, throwing the commercial, like the commercial version. Oh, it was a commercial with Kevin Hart, where the mom in Home Alone was in there. She was yelling for Kevin, but Kevin Hart pops up.
The movie's so old. The first one, you wasn't even alive yet, bro. You wasn't even
Was
born.
it 89 or 90?
90, bro.
90, yeah.
Damn, I was 5 when that fucking shit came out.
Those are good movies though.
Yeah, it's classic 90s cinema.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. God damn, Macaulay is that much older than me? Macaulay Culkin is 44, man.
44. Yeah, I mean, if the movie came out when you was 5, he was probably, 6, like, he was probably like 10, 11 at the time when they was filming.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that dude was like Macaulay Culkin was the man in the 90s, dude.
For sure, yeah. His younger brother's killing it now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's like in all kind of TV. I think he just won an Emmy Award or something like that.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. And Macaulay Culkin is he's not. I don't think he's doing too much acting now, but he's kind of like he's kind of still doing his thing. He's still out and about.
Yeah,
I think kissing babies.
Macaulay Culkin had the weirdest drug phase I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like he was doing so much drugs he turned gay. Did you see that?
No, I didn't know he turned gay.
No, he wasn't gay. Like he's not gay.
Yeah,
but he was some dude to start kissing him on stage.
Oh, dang.
And he was high as fuck.
Dang,
you didn't see that?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. That's
a lot of drugs, man.
Yeah, he seems I think he's in a good space now. Yeah, I think he's married or dating the Disney girl, the Asian girl?
No, it don't say that here.
Yeah, I think he has a kid with her or something.
Yeah, but I don't know. It says 98. It says Rachel Minor. Oh, the 2002. So that's an old marriage. I don't know who his wife is now.
Oh, wait. Who's the one that's...
No, I think you're right, though. I think you're right. I think it's some Asian lady. But it says Rachel Minor. It doesn't say the Asian girl. But I know he was with I forgot her name.
Who am I thinking about? Is it that person? I might be thinking... Oh, yeah, they're right here.
Song. Is it Song? Something Song?
Yeah. Yeah, they're right here. It's... Wait, hold on. Welcome to the Sweet Life. Brenda Song is her name.
Oh, okay.
Are they... Is this still a thing?
I
finally opened up about there. They might, yeah. This is January 2022. January 27, 2025. So it says they finally opened up. Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song finally open up about their relationship. So they have like little photos in the Cosmopolitan.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just don't think it's anyone's business too. You can keep that shit off socials.
Yeah, I say that to say I just think he's in a good space now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Seems to have cleaned up a little bit.
Absolutely, because the drugs had him fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God damn.
Yeah,
somebody. Yeah, but he bounced back because the drugs had him fucked up.
Yeah,
that nigga aged like 12 years. I'm like, man.
Yeah,
that drug phase ain't different. I mean, ain't good. Excuse me.
God dang.
Yeah. Shout out to drugs, yo.
So what happens when you stay home alone?
Yeah, man, you stay home alone long enough.
Start trying stuff.
You stay home alone long enough. You get bored and you do drugs.
Man, start getting into the little medicine cabinet.
Hello, fentanyl.
Crunching pills up. Yeah.
That'd be crazy. Dang. Hey guys, what are you doing here? Hey, kid, you ever had fentanyl before?
Dang, that's dark.
Here, smoke this. That's what happens when you stay home alone.
Yeah.
Parents, watch your kids.
For sure.
Okay. Do you want them putting fentanyl in pancakes? No, you don't. Okay. All right.
The Fenty pancakes.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Oh, speaking of pancakes, you know what the perfect pancake is to me? You know how whenever you go to a restaurant, they make them all fluffy. You know, you got these pancakes that are like really airy and fluffy. The best pancake to me is the one that got the crispy edges on them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's still fluffy.
The middle's fluffy, but the edges are crispy.
Oh,
got a little crunch on there.
Oh, man. Them is the best. The crispy edge pancakes, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
And then when you rub a fork across it, it goes, shing, shing, shing. That's how you know you got a crispy edge pancake, is when you take a fork and you go, shing, shing, and then the middle of it is soft.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm going to put y'all, dude, I make the best. I'm talking to the ladies here. I just want to let you know what you can expect if you stay the night over my house. I make the best protein pancakes. What I do is I get vanilla flavored protein. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get a little bit of pancake batter, not a whole lot. And then I get some almond milk, and I get about 1 or 2 eggs. Then I get some cinnamon, and I just stir it around really good, and then put it in the pan, put it on I say medium high, not like hot, but like medium high.
Mm-hmm.
And then I usually make them on my griddle that I have at home, the flat griddle.
Mm-hmm.
And I let it sit long enough to where I can hear it. Like you can hear it, and it's like, shh, that's how you know it's getting those crispy edges, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then when
it speaks to you.
It speaks to me. Like I can hear it.
Eddie, my edges are crispy.
Yes, Eddie, the edges are crispy. And have you ever put your ear to Rice Krispies when you got it in the milk?
Yeah.
And
start popping.
And it's
snap, crackle, and popping.
It's almost time, Eddie.
It's almost time.
It's almost time.
I'm almost moist enough.
Yeah, I'm almost moist enough.
Yeah.
I'm right in between. You gotta see me. I don't do like Rice Krispies when it gets too soggy.
Yeah.
I like it when it just hits the milk and it's wet and it's cold and it's still crunchy at the same time.
Sometimes like vagina does the same thing. It's just like a viscosity that talks to you as well.
All right.
When you start like
enough of that. Okay. Look, like I was.
Eddie, I'm ready for you.
You stupid. God damn. Oh man. This nigga out Eddied me. I'm Eddie. This nigga out Eddied me. Fuck.
Vagina, you so crazy.
But no, man. Once you flip them over and they're a little bit brown, usually you could tell that the pancake is finishing on the other side because it starts to like bubble almost. You know what I'm talking about?
That's the trick.
It's
I learned
like
that from an OG.
Yeah.
OG told me that for sure.
Yeah, so basically that means the heat is running through the pancake. And then once you flip it over, don't be sloppy, right? Make sure you get it to where the batter is not spilling over. And you flip the pancake in one motion. I flip it from the right side right over to the left. Bam. And as soon as it lands, you start to see the middle of the pancake start to rise a little bit. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Start to perk up, huh?
Yeah, that's when I'm like, all right. I start rubbing my hands together like Birdman, like, all right, playboy. It's almost time for these pancakes, boy.
All 3 of y'all. I'm going to eat all 3 of y'all.
All right, boy. Cash money rules everything. Pinky rings.
From the 99 to the 2000.
Lots of money, playboy. About to put some syrup on this thing. And then, like, once you
y'all finish or y'all done?
Y'all finish, y'all done. He used to just say unnecessary shit on the records. He'd be like, is y'all finished or y'all done? Cash money. Lots of honey. Lots of bread. Making money till I'm dead.
Yeah.
You said, you like, shut the fuck up, Birdman.
I remember when Lil Wayne revealed he wrote Birdman's raps, and I was just so disappointed.
Like, this is not impressive.
What? I was like, I write all standard bars. And I was like, nah, it's probably not something to brag about.
He said he what?
He said, I write all standard bars. And I just, I was like, nah, dog. Like, you're a great rapper.
Birdman is crazy. Oh, Birdman is so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Stunning like my daddy. Stunning like my daddy. I was stunning like my daddy. You shouldn't be calling that man your daddy, man.
Young Stunner, I'm sure he don't do it no more.
He's like, I be stunning like my daddy. If I get out of line, he gonna spank me like my daddy.
Dang,
spank me like my daddy. You be like, yeah.
He gonna steal from me like my daddy.
Oh man.
Yeah, that has to be crazy. Like I don't know the origins and how close they are, but you go and call somebody, like you basically turn him into your father or like a father figure or whatever, but you're calling him your dad, and only for you guys to fall out over like
money.
Yeah, money. It's just, that's sad, dog.
Yeah,
that's
he was more like your Uncle Sam.
Dang. That was good.
Starting like my uncle, he's stealing all my money, making money funny, and taking all my money. Starting like my uncle. What? It's nothing like my uncle. Why? This 90s Hot Boys songs was different.
Wake up early in the morning, steal that money like Uncle Sam.
Oh, man. Fireman, fire for fireman. This nigga stealing my money. I'm hollering trying to get my money back. If you take my money, I'ma beat you out. You gonna steal my money, I'ma beat you out. Ain't nobody fucking with me, man. Steve man, stealing all my cash.
Oh, that is hilarious.
You catch my girl legs open, better smash that. Don't be surprised if he asks where the cash at. Cause my uncle stole all my money, got me stealing all that money, got me making all that money. Like, oh man, you been trying to tell us the whole time.
Cause my daddy been stealing a milli.
He's stealing my money, stealing my money, stealing my money.
Oh man, Lil Wayne be like, and he just the little subtle details he giving. Like, man, I ain't got nowhere to sleep. They been stealing all my money. Got nowhere to sleep. I've been stealing all my money. I've been sleeping in the park. I've been sleeping on the bench. You're like, dang. We thought this was just like, we thought this was just bars. It's deeper than bars, bro. This shit is deeper than bars. This nigga had nowhere to sleep.
That's crazy, dog.
Oh man, Manny Fresh used to have. Manny Fresh, when he would rap, it was all he rapped like a producer. Yeah.
Fresh.
Children and babies, dogs and frogs, hog maws and big balls. Everybody come on down.
God dang.
Dun, 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 dun. That shit was huge. My freshman year, my God.
Yeah.
That I think the person that started the whole, I don't know how we got this conversation, but the person who popped off the whole Cash Money, all of that, it was actually Juvenile. Because Juvenile came out with High when I was in the 8th grade. That was like, 99? And he was like, you taking them things high. You making them breads high. You jumping them fans high. Bro, you was You was in the...
99?
Yeah, you was like 4th grade? No, like 2nd.
Yeah, like third, second, third, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a trip.
You know what's wild is that the old apartments where y'all used to live. A long time ago, me and my dad first lived in those apartments before you guys moved there. And that apartment that y'all moved in, we're the ones that cleaned it out. There was the people that were living there. I think they got evicted or something.
Like literally before we moved in?
Before y'all moved in.
Oh, that's wild.
Me and my dad cleaned out that unit.
Yeah.
We did it for the manager so we could like get a deal on the rent.
So how do you remember when we moved? You probably don't remember when we moved in.
When you moved in, when we had moved out of that apartment complex. You guys moved there probably in 2000. Like probably you moved there in like mid 2000.
Yeah, it had to be. Yeah, because I was like in the 3rd grade, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the old tenants that were there, like you guys got the remodel. Because we had like all kind of shit we had to throw out of that place.
Dang.
Yeah, and then they came and like vacuum, pull the carpet and shit out, and then like once I came back to the apartments when I met your brother, I was like, hey, we used to live over there. We cleaned this apartment. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is a trip.
Your mom's is there because how long has she been where she at now? Since 22. Wait. Oh, how long has your mom been there?
I don't remember.
I think she moved there not in 23 because she probably 23.
Maybe 22.
Probably 22, late 22.
Maybe 22.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been like maybe
almost 3 years.
Yeah, almost 3 years maybe. Yeah.
Damn,
that's a trip. Time flies.
Yeah, she was there for like 22 years at those spots.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be like, I would say around 2 or 3 for sure.
That's a trip, man. All right, man. I'm sorry about thinking out loud, man. We don't want to bore the people.
Yeah.
We're going to hit you with one more topic, man, and we're going to get out of
here. Bro,
before
this might sound weird, but every now and then I just realize, like, I just think about the battle between Kendrick and Drake, and I just think about all the like the slaps in the face that have happened. And they're like these little subtle moments, you know. I'm talking about like, you know, one, the battle goes on, but I just keep getting this glimpse in my mind of Dr. Dre and the head of UMG high-fiving each other when Kendrick Lamar wins the award.
That's bad.
I'm like, dog. And like, you know, my little brother was like, Drake will be good. Like, you know, the album come out, because he has the album coming out with Party Next Door next week. But if he don't have the label support, you know, like the machine behind, like pushing,
different.
Yeah, and it come out that it's only sold like 20,000 like natural, you know, streams, sales. That's gonna change that's gonna be like worse.
Well, here's the problem, and to your point, if he doesn't have the push from the label, even if it's a good album, there will not be enough social proof to prove that album is good, because we live in a society of groupthink. So the album could be just this monumentally great album, and me and Keith would be like, fuck, this shit is a banger. And then people would be like, this shit trash, this shit garbage. It ain't even sold that many records because it's trash. And it's like, wait a minute, that's not how you measure music, first of all. But secondly, we get to see what happens when the machine is not moving your shit. Like, this is going to be
the tricky part about this whole situation. This is going to be the
test.
Yeah.
This is going to be the fucking test, man.
So I don't know what his plan is. I don't know if he's going to put his own bread up to kind of promote it or push it, but yeah, we're going to see. Next week we'll be back and we're going to have that conversation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to see. This is going to be interesting. We're gonna see how this is gonna go when it's not being pushed by a major.
Yeah, we're gonna see.
Because he can't. They're not. He's just gonna release this album. It's not gonna be like a typical, because he's in a current lawsuit.
So that's the thing that I don't know. You hear a lot from everybody. We won't know for sure until we look at the credits and it says whatever, you know, OVO sound, whatever recordings, or if it says, you know, whatever featuring Drake. Like, we won't know all of it, because it you know, it's a lot of rumors going around like, oh, the way he's getting by is by saying it's featured instead of a joint album. But he also said that when he talked about it, he's like, I'm gonna have like the love songs on there, we're gonna have some slaps on there. He said we also gonna have like the in-depth, you know, records on there too. So I think that means that he gonna have some solo records on there.
I think that if this album is super fire, like if it's super fire and somehow it gets pushed, then it's gonna start to slow. It's gonna start to stifle some of
that Kendrick steam.
Yeah, that Kendrick steam. Kendrick's still gonna be Kendrick. He's still gonna do his thing. But when Drake releases an album and it's undeniably good, then it's gonna be like, it's like the whole. We have a short memory too. Like, people have a very short memory, so people gonna be like, "Yo, Drake's back. He back. He fire. This is fire." Or whatever the case. This is how the internet works. So we're gonna see. But all right. Switching gears, we're gonna end it with this one. It's a very unfortunate topic, because I'm sure a lot of you guys, when you walk out of the grocery store and you see Girl Scout cookies, it's like, hey, we have Girl Scout cookies. And, you know, over the years, you know, you notice that they are expensive, but they just got a certain taste to them. Like, they just taste like the little lemon cookies. They taste so fucking good. And they got like the little cinnamon ones and the macarons and all these things. And they taste so great. However, here's the scary part.
Yeah.
100% of Girl Scout cookies tested and contaminated toxic metals and glyphosate. Which, this is fucked up, man. These goddamn Girl Scout cookies is killing us. So, I mean, I haven't bought them in a while, but this is wrong. How much?
I just ate one today.
How much? No, you didn't. All right. And Keith is about.
Yeah, it tastes a little metal in there.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Keith knew shit was real when he was walking by a refrigerator and his face slammed into it. The goddamn metal slammed.
This is getting magnetically pulled.
This nigga's face turned into a refrigerator ornament.
I could be the Silver Surfer.
I could be the Cash. All right. The result of the study revealed that 100% of samples proved positive for the presence of glyphosate, a toxic metals. Additionally, 88% of the samples tested positive for all 5 toxic metals. Cadmium levels exceeded EPA limits of 76% of the samples. Lead was found in 96% of the cookie sample. This is very concerning since high levels of glass phosphate also alone lead to various health issues such as endocrine disruption, cancer, miscarriages, gut issues, autism, and sperm damage.
God dang.
It is typically used to drying agent before crops such as oats, wheat, barley, and legumes are harvested. It also serves as a weed killer for various GMO crops such as canola, soy, corn, and beet sugar. Unfortunately, many of these foods are common Girl-style cookie ingredients. I mean, you're killing my sperm. That's crazy. So you imagine you trying to get your wife pregnant and you just chomping down on these goddamn Girl Scout cookies, and she's wondering why she can't get pregnant, and it's because you got
Girl Scout
you got bad nut, man.
Oh dang.
You got bad nut because you eating all these damn cookies. And then the scary part is it could lead to autism. That's not okay. It's not okay, man. That they gotta. The problem with our food source in America is it's toxic, man. It's contaminated. Why the fuck is any of this shit in our food? Stop. Just stop. I know that they, in some way, a lot of these companies have bargained our health because they say, hey, this is going to make it last a little longer, but there's not enough levels of this to make you... No, just fucking stop. If it's not natural, if it does not come from the earth, stop using it on crops. Stop putting it in food. If we want to protest anything, we got all these protests going on in America. We need to protest to not put this bullshit in the fucking foods. And for the longest, there was a lot of migrant workers that got sick because those planes were spraying fucking pesticides right on top of them. Remember that shit? There's a lot of people that were out there working, just trying to make an honest living, getting sprayed and getting cancer.
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, and I'm going to tell you guys something that I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to say it. I'm not going to say the place because I don't want them hearing this and then, I end up getting in trouble. But there is a refinery, and I'm not going to say where it is, but there's a refinery. And next to the refinery is a crop, a food crop, where they were harvesting grapes and everything, right? But this refinery is notorious for many years of spills. They've spilled naphtha there. They've spilled crude oil. They spilled all kinds of things. And over the past over 100 years that this refinery has been around, that soil is contaminated all over the place. There was an old truck driver that I know named Mark, right? He's retired now. He's probably like 67 years old. But he told me, he said, yeah, I'm about to retire. But he said, yeah, man, I've been truck driving since the 70s. And I was like, no way. This is probably about 6 years ago. I said, no way, bro. He's like, I've been doing this shit way before you was born. He's like, and this place, in order to get all the contamination out the soil, they would have to dig down underneath this whole place. They would have to dig for probably 7 years. I started laughing. I was like, 7? That's crazy. And he had a straight face. He said, no, they would need to dig down underneath this place for probably at least 7 years to get all of the contamination out of this soil.
God damn.
And I said, what the fuck? He said, yeah. And then I was driving around to scale out, right? Because I had emptied out my product. And when I scaled out, I looked to my left and there was a whole crop right next to a contaminated refinery.
God dang.
So we don't always know where our food source is coming from. That's the point I'm trying to make here, okay? There's a bunch of crude oil and a bunch of, gas and all kinds of shit at this refinery, and right next to it is grapes. And it's like, wait a minute, man.
How are the metals getting into the food? Is it just the manufacturing process?
It's a process that they're using, like with wheat. It's stuff that they're spraying. So what does it say here? It says okay. Where does it say it here? Additional metals, cadmium, the samples. It also serves as a weed killer. So it's a weed killer for various GMO crops, such as canola, soy, corn, beef. So they're using it as a weed killer. But there's a bunch of people who are in a massive lawsuit against Roundup because it's causing people cancer.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Just stop. I think it made me look at the shit in my house and be like, hey, what the fuck is this shit?
What's in here?
I'm not spraying this shit on my countertops or nothing no more. All that Lysol, I don't use Lysol wipes. I don't use Lysol. I don't use none of them. All I use, I forgot what it's called, but there's this brand, it's plant-based, and it's antibacterial, but I looked at it, it's probably like 5 ingredients, and it's all real shit. It's like citrus, and it's a mixture of some other shit.
Yeah.
And it's an antibacterial thing. So I'm rocking with that, man, because... Yeah,
a lot of that stuff you can make too, like with some alcohol, and a couple different, like you said, a couple different ingredients. You could throw it together, and then you got your own little cleaning solutions. Because, like you said, a lot of this stuff, it'd be like it's a science experiment, dog.
Yeah, and I mean the largest organism on our body is our skin.
Yeah, and a lot of times, sorry to cut you off, but a lot of times people don't read the labels too.
Nah,
so they be cleaning, got chemicals, toxic products touching their skin, and then they getting, cancers and, things like that
up.
Just because they haven't read the label where it says like, hey, don't, put this on your skin, or make sure you wear gloves or whatever when you're cleaning and stuff like that.
So the problem is it should even be in the fucking house.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying, like,
you're right
in terms of, people don't read the labels.
But I would honestly say that the wear gloves and wear this and do that, it's only for liability purposes, so you can't sue them. Because if they say, do you believe you got this from our product? Well, we clearly say you need to put gloves on, and that's the disclaimer. And if you don't wear the gloves, and where there's no proof that what is the proof that you wore gloves? Now you can't sue the motherfucker that gave you cancer.
Yeah,
that's fucked up, man.
Yeah,
that's not right. I don't want, and that's why, like, for me, I've been keeping my food real simple lately. Today I ate some bullshit, but it was the first day I ate really bad in a while. I was eating some fried chicken like a motherfucker today. Yeah, shout out to the chickens, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I had some sugar cookies and some fried chicken, and I had some chicken nuggets and some macaroni salad and potato salad and all kinds of shit. I had some lemonade that was sugary as fuck.
Yes.
But I'm done, man. I ate one time today. I did that shit on purpose. I've been waiting all week to eat like this. But the rest of the week, I'm back on my diet. But Girl Scouts will never be a part of my diet. The next time I go outside, when I go to the store next time and I see Girl Scout cookies, I'm just gonna put my arm on the table and just knock all the cookies down. I'm be like, you selling this poison to people.
I'm gonna go up there with a metal detector. It's gonna be like,
beep, 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 beep. Like, I need to confiscate these cookies. And then I'm going to take it from them and say, hey, these are not healthy. You can't give them out. And I'm going to go home and eat them.
Comedy.
Yeah, come take these medals out of me.
That's sick, dog.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Oh, my God. I never in a million years would think Girl Scout. You know what? Hey, if they're not going to make these things illegal, right, and they're going to keep letting these fucking Girl Scouts sell these cookies, bring the price down. You can't be selling me death and taking all my money.
They be bro. And also, Girl Scout cookies used to be a seasonal thing. Now I'm seeing people all year round.
Yeah.
What's going on?
This ain't Girl Scout cookies with a jacket on. You supposed to be in the house.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
You not a Girl Scout. You a 50-year-old man. Like, why are you selling Girl Scout cookies?
Man, that's crazy.
And it's always for your granddaughter, your daughter. Like, dog, your daughter's in college.
Yeah, these damn. I've seen the OnlyFans model was selling Girl Scout cookies. Yeah, only cookies. I'm like,
only cookies.
Man, get out of here, man. You selling cookies out here with your titties out. What the fuck is going on here?
Girl Scout nookies.
Yeah, like, you are 35, girl. What are you doing selling these goddamn cookies out here?
That's crazy,
man. Yeah. I'm gonna say this: if you ever see a Girl Scout selling cookies, stop buying them. Don't buy them. Tell you why. The more you don't buy them, you're going to force that company to put real ingredients in the fucking food. I really don't think anything should have a shelf life longer than 4 days. That's just my opinion. And the reason why things have such a long shelf life is simply because they want to make enough product for it to sit and they could just sell it without having to work. But if you make the shelf life shorter, it would force companies to work harder. And they don't want that. They want to be able to sell the product when it's selling, and then when it's not selling, it can just sit there until it sells again.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're basically killing our society that way. Because you look at some of the names in this shit, it's like, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
No.
Stuff you can't even pronounce.
Yeah, there's companies that make real products. Let's be very clear here. There's companies that make real rice. They make real chicken. They make real stuff. You know, and they do a good job. Like the stuff I got in my refrigerator, it's real stuff. You know, I got ground turkey. What do I have now? I have some flounder, some fish. I have flounder. I have salmon. I have ground turkey. I have chicken breast, like diced up chicken breast, and I have some jasmine rice.
Yeah,
and I have one thing I do have that's kind of on the junk food side, but it's really not. There's these air fried chicken nuggets that are really good, and they're not fried. And the only thing that's bad, I looked at the ingredients. It's not too many ingredients in it. One thing I don't like, it has palm oil in it. Palm oil is not good. Palm oil is something you should not have in your home. And I will probably not be buying it again. Let me see, palm oil, just to give you an idea of what palm oil is. Palm oil is the world's most consumed vegetable oil found in package. Okay, what is unhealthy about palm oil? Palm oil is considered as unhealthy primarily because has high in saturated fat, which can raise bad LDL cholesterols and increase the risk of heart disease. And consumed in large quantities, this is the main concern regarding its health impacts, although research on its exact effects is ongoing and not fully conclusive. So here's my thing. I don't really eat like that. However, I just don't know how much you should introduce palm oil. The best thing to use is like avocado oil or like virgin olive oil. Nothing else. Like nothing else. If you like, well, I mean, but Chick-fil-A seems healthy. No, it's not, stupid.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Okay, it's fried. It's fried chicken. All right, so don't do that. You know. But you know you do you pretty much cook a lot of oils out of your food when you use an air fryer.
Yeah, you're not dipping it in grease. You're not dunking it in grease.
Yeah, you notice like when you cook whatever food in it, it's like the grease is like coming out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's a good thing about the air fryer.
Yeah. I made some fries one time. You know what I did one time, and I was like, this shit is better. One time I went to McDonald's, and I got all the way home and I had a large fry. And I was like, fuck, man, these fries is not like, you know how they like done, but they like a little, some of the fries kind of drunk.
Yeah.
They're kind of like hanging.
Kind of limp.
Yeah, kind of limp. So I threw it in my air fryer for like 7 minutes.
Flaccid.
On 400, flaccid fries. Yeah. So I put my fries in there for like 6 minutes on 400. And that shit, you could hear them. It cooked a lot of the grease out, and that shit was crispy as fuck. I was like, dang, McDonald's.
Yeah, even reheating fries, you could reheat your fries in the air fryer, and it's not going to be like you just bought them, but they're going to be salvageable. You know, they're going to be good.
This is more than salvageable. My shit was good when I put it in the air fryer.
Yeah. No, you're talking about like, I'm just saying like if you, because you're talking about cooking your fries to the, undercooked fries. I'm talking about like if you bought a burger and fries from whatever spot and you like, man, I want to take this home. They give you the little doggy bag or whatever. You take it home, and then the next day or whatever, you put it in the fridge, and then the next day you pop them out and then put them in the air fryer. You might be able to, you have some decent little fries still.
Yeah, that's fine. There was a commercial recently. I think Burger King did it, and it was some of the most smart marketing that I've ever seen. They put a Burger King Whopper next to a McDonald's burger, and they aged it, right? They did it in real time, and they aged it, and the Whopper was like decomposing and getting mold on it, and the McDonald's burger was just barely changing at all, right?
That was a Burger King ad?
Yes, it's Burger King ad, and it said we're real, like real food or whatever the case.
Dang.
Basically insinuating that McDonald's serves fake food.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Watch this. I'm going to look it up. So for the people here, they can see it. Let me put in Burger King versus McDonald's burger. Let's see. It should be a commercial. Hold on. Let's put mold on it. It started getting mold and shit. Here it is. Burger King's 2020 Moldy Whopper campaign highlighted that its burgers are made without artificial preservatives, while McDonald's burgers are unlikely to grow mold in certain environments.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a trip.
I mean, it's not your sexy marketing, but I think it's comforting to know that people still take pride in making real food.
Exactly.
I'm already knowing. Okay, look, the Bakersfield Now article popped up with Kendrick and SZA, and it's gonna be some racist comments, bro. I already know how. Let me see what it says here. Hold on. Somebody put, this was the worst halftime show ever. It's some old lady. And then another one. He was the best. Next year's Super Bowl halftime will be kick-ass, either country or rock.
I think it's more like it's pop music, really. Mm-hmm. Like, and I don't think that they're looking for like the deep cut rock band. You know, they're looking for popular music, and rap is like a very popular genre right now. So unless you're like a I don't see just a rock band just popping up there for the sake of it being a rock band. They're not just picking the genre. Like, you have to be popular enough, you know, to be up there.
Nigga, this shit got me dying. I know you're going to appreciate this. I'm going to show you this picture real quick. You don't see it? You don't see
get it.
Come on, bro. It's a computer. What is sitting down at the computer screen?
A cracker. Yeah. Oh. It's just a mad cracker.
That's crazy. That's wild, yo. That's hella wild. It's a computer. It's a saltine cracker. I'm like, man, the internet is a wild place, man.
The internet is undefeated, as they say.
All right, man. So look here. At the end of the day, what have we learned from this podcast? We've learned, all right, that, you know, when watching an event, it's okay to not like or like something. It's all subjective at the end of the day. We've also learned that these commercials, some of the ones that have the most impact are normal. It does not involve people with aliens taking away a bag of fucking Doritos. We've also learned not to eat these goddamn cookies.
Yeah.
The cookies got metal in them, man. So unless you want to be a magnet, stop eating the Girl Scout cookies, man.
Yeah. We also learned that winning 3 Super Bowls in a row it hasn't been done for a reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do. We also, you mentioned earlier about how to take a loss.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, it's important to connect it with the Eagles' journey to the Super Bowl. You know, a lot of this press run with Jalen Hurts was about how he had certain photos saved from the time when he lost, and how, you know, he said that he was going to get back here. And they showed up and showed out.
Yeah, man.
You know, they put on a beautiful performance, defense, offense, the whole nine.
I get this a Magic Patrick, I think.
Oh, man, it just hurts so bad, man. You know, it's hard to lose a game, especially a game that you felt like you could have won, you know, and, you know, I don't really know what to say. I'm a loss for words. Say, Drake, I heard you like him young. That's all I got to say, man. You know, it seems like Drake lost the battle, just kind of like we lost the game. I feel like the Drake and the Chiefs are very synonymous at this moment right now. And we got a lot to figure out, man. So, yeah.
So, Patrick Mahomes, what do you believe is something you could have done better in a winning effort today?
I mean, fuck. I mean, I couldn't throw the fucking ball. What do you think I'm going to do, man? I tried my best to, you know, get it to my receivers, but, I mean, you're going to hit me after 1 second. What the fuck can I do with the ball?
Is there anything you'd like to say to your offensive line?
Get a new fucking job, man. You're not going to be working here next year. You better get your resume and go work at Wendy's, man. You got a better chance of selling a 4 for $4 than fucking working here next year, man.
All right, that's about it. And then they interview the offensive lineman. Like, it seems that Patrick is not very happy with the blocking effort today. What is something you feel like you could have done better? I mean, shit. Fuck you want me to do? They was whooping my ass.
And that they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Patrick is not like us, man. Oh, man. Trying to make a score, but it's probably turned over.
Yeah.
They lost the game. They lost the game.
Yeah.
God damn, they got their ass whooped.
Yeah.
I felt that if they stopped, what was the rookie? Number 1.
Xavier Worthy.
Worthy. If you stop Worthy, you win the game. And I feel like that's what they did. Then Worthy got off. He got 1 touchdown. He got 1 score, but it wasn't enough. Patrick was getting his ass whooped back there.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's going to be back.
He'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll be back. But I think that next year's Super Bowl definitely will be the Bills and the Niners. Calling it right now.
I want the Niners to go back.
I want them to go back. This is wishful thinking now.
Yeah.
We could get our ass kicked again during the regular
AFC
season.
Yeah. That team that loses is always going to come back hungry. So I think that game between Lamar Jackson, I think Lamar, I want Lamar to get there. I want Lamar to get to that big game.
Lamar could have made it if Andrews would not dropped all those fucking passes.
Yeah. They had a tough go at it. But, yeah, Josh Allen, I want Lamar to get one. I want Josh Allen to get one. But, yeah, hopefully my Niners get there. I don't personally see it, but, yeah, that would be nice for them to get back up there.
President Trump, you were at the game. What did you see out there? How did you think Patrick performed? Yeah, well, Patrick's a great guy. It wasn't his day. I think he may be back next season, but right now, not a very fine game for him. Not a very fine game. I'm sure he really would take some things back. So what do you think Patrick could do? Like I said, not a whole lot more. I have the country to worry about now. I'm thinking about getting rid of Drake for these tariffs. 25% tariffs. Like, oh, shit. Yeah. We'll see, man. I wonder, the Eagles will probably be at the they'll definitely be at the warehouse. At the freaking White House. Yeah, it's time to go, man. It's time to shut this podcast down. Well, hey, folks, if you made it to the end of this episode, thank you for listening to our Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
We are out of here.
Peace.